Okay, welcome. I'm Karen Janusz, and tonight is January 11th. Tonight we're going to be talking about weight management with the Slique products. So I hope you find this helpful if you're on the Slique program or if you're working to lose some weight. Hopefully this information will help. And, I'd like to give you a little bit of an overview about weight loss, as we go through this. So when we're talking about weight loss, as an overview, we're going to be covering the 5 areas of nutrition and your specific calorie needs based on your basal metabolic rate and your height. The 5 areas of nutrition that we're going to be discussing are water, carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins, and minerals. And we'll also be including the weight loss mastery skills, which I cover with people. I actually have workbooks that incorporate a lot of this information. So that would include physical activity, food and calories, record keeping, stimulus control, and support. In addition to that, the mastery skills, minding your mindset, keep right tracking, stick to structure, problem solving, and planning. So losing weight isn't just one thing. As you can see already, there are multiple areas of behavioral modification that we incorporate when we're trying to lose weight and to do it successfully. So we are experiencing here in the United States the American health crisis. So, why would we want to lose weight? Typically it's to, get healthier, to look better. So we're going to be on a journey, the road to health. And, what do we have to do that or accomplish that goal, and how do we do it? That's what we'll be talking about tonight. So out of the areas of nutrition and regarding weight, lifestyle versus genetics, as much as 80% of your health is determined by stress factors such as poor nutrition, environmental chemicals, and negative emotions. I'm going to say that again. The stress factors that affect our health are poor nutrition, environmental chemicals, and negative emotions. As little as 20% may be determined by genetic predisposition. So isn't that amazing? And the toxins that we're exposed to on a regular basis, of the 70,000 chemicals being used commercially in the United States, the EPA considers 65,000 of them to be potentially hazardous to your health. So that is not a good situation for us to be in. The pollution is so high right now that we are exposed to more toxicity in one day than our grandparents were exposed to in an entire lifetime. And that means, when we go outside, the air that we breathe, the food that we're eating, is covered with pesticides, herbicides, unless we're eating organic. The water has chemicals in it. Soil has chemicals, chemical fertilizers, and, our emotions are very toxic sometimes. Our houses, inside our homes, we have toxic chemicals that are used as cleaning fluids. In the office, the car, there are toxic gases that are being emitted from, the carpet, from the stuff that they're using on the floors, and then our body care and skincare products. So every aspect of our life, we're exposed to these chemicals. And, the result is an increase of an inflammatory disease. And, this silent inflammation is at the heart of some of the most difficult diseases that we're dealing with in this country. So the root cause of many of the major chronic diseases is inflammation. And there are many nutraceuticals that can play a role in curbing this risk factor. So wrong foods, stress, emotional trauma, and environmental toxins all lead to inflammatory disease. So there's even an article in the Time magazine, they featured an article, the surprising link between inflammation and heart attacks, cancer, Alzheimer's, and other diseases, what you can do and what you can do to fight it. So, all the really risky diseases now, inflammation is the most common denominator that each of them has. So there's an article in the New York Times. Dr. Meggs, an inflammation specialist at the Brody School of Medicine at East Carolina University, makes the point that inflammation may well turn out to be the elusive holy grail of medicine, the single phenomenon that holds the key to sickness and health. So if we can control inflammation, guess what? We will be able to control what's happening with our health. Metabolic stress leads to disease. The metabolic stress factors are the chronic silent inflammation from stress. How many people have stress? You know, do you experience stress every day? You experience stress when you drive down the street. We experience stress sometimes when we go to the store. Just every day there are different aspects of that we're exposed to stress. This creates oxidation and cell death, which results in excess free radicals at the cellular level, which promotes more cell death and system failure. This results in diseases including diabetes, weight gain, cancer, and so on. And, you know, when a person's exposed to stress, whether it be physical stress, biological stress, emotional, or physiological stressors, these stress responses actually trigger the hypothalamus to create it's like a domino effect. So the hypothalamus actually controls our emotions, or it's in charge of our emotions, which are in charge of the sensory nervous system. Sometimes people, when they're under extreme stress, experience skin eruptions. You know, they get rashes for no apparent reason. There are neuropeptide and other chemicals that are involved, major effects of stress. The hypothalamus also affects the pituitary gland, which is in charge of the autonomic nervous system. The adrenergic and cholinergic systems affect the heart rate, respiration, sweating, blood pressure, gastric activity, digestion, intestinal changes, bronchial spasms, emotional changes, body metabolism, and other changes. So when a person's under stress, you know, the stomach lining starts to, you know, our digestive system actually starts to stop, and the stomach lining starts to dissolve. Our heart rate rises, blood pressure rises. It's like a cascade of events that happen when we're under stress. And the other endocrine systems that are affected, the adrenal glands, the alpha beta receptors, the thymus gland is affected when we're under stress, affecting the T cells, which are in charge of the immune system, which results in a reduced immune status, and weak organs are affected. So you can see how this domino cascading effect results in a higher risk for disease. So, you know, in addition to that, you know, the toxins in our food, so these are just outside stressors. So when we look at the toxins in our food, the United States study tested chemicals present in the umbilical cords of babies. They found over 287 chemicals present. 217 were toxic to the brain. 208 caused birth defects. 180 are known to cause cancer, and they were traced back to the mother's diet. So this is really critical, you know, for the health of our children. So here's a short list of pro-inflammatory foods. They include modern wheat products, hydrogenated fats, trans fats, soft drinks, all processed foods, artificial colors, and pasteurized dairy products. So that's a pretty high list. So this results in xenoestrogens. So xenoestrogens actually mimic estrogen in the body. Women are profoundly more affected compared to men, and they come from every sector of life, such as meat, fish, dairy, veggies that have pesticides, herbicides, plastics, detergents, and water that has chemicals in it. These create a variety of symptoms, including weight gain. And it causes a decrease in sperm count in men that results in, since 1940s, the sperm count in men is down like 50%. Fish are becoming hermaphrodites from direct dumping of petrochemicals into the water. And even women's urine from birth control pills has estrogen that goes into the water chain. And then we end up drinking it as a secondary substance. So you can see weight gain is more than just one thing. It's not just overeating. There are many factors that contribute to it. So the xenoestrogens can cause breast cancer, endometriosis, weight gain, fibrocystic breast disease, migraine headaches, premenstrual syndrome, ovarian cysts, endometrial cancer, benign prostatic hypertrophy in men, restless leg syndrome, birth defects, and prostate cancer. So that's quite a list, isn't it? So,
yes, it is.
I know, it's just like, oh my gosh. So the xenoestrogen storage ports actually start in the liver. So the xenoestrogens actually are processed in the liver and they result in more fat production, which, creates more estrogen storage capacity, which results in more fat production and more estrogen dominance. So in every case where a person has some type of breast cancer or in an estrogen related cancer, it's because of estrogen dominance. And this is the reason. It's not like they're taking estrogens by itself. There are other factors that contribute to it. And many times it's the xenoestrogens that are coming up in their diet. So, the reality of the overweight epidemic here in the United States. So this picture is just like, oh my gosh, look at this child, this baby who's not even probably 18 months old, so overweight. 20% of the children in the United States are overweight. 65% of adults, 2 out of 3 people in the United States are overweight or obese at this time. And this shows statistically what the trend has been here in the United States. So in 1990, you see, these white states. There are like 5 states that actually didn't report or they didn't have a population that was overweight. So the lighter blue colors is 10 to 14% overweight. The real light blue is less than 10%. Then it goes to 10 to 14%. The darker blue is like 15 to 19%. And then, so that was in 1990. That wasn't that long ago, okay? 1998, here we have more states that have, like 15 to 19% overweight, and then we're getting into a higher percentage, 20 to 24% in Alaska and some of these other states. 2005, we see the increase, 25 to 29%, and then the darker orange, greater than 30%. That was in 2005. 2016, look at all the states that are 25 to 29% overweight and over 30%. So, the incidence of obesity and overweight in the United States now in 2017, this was in August, adult obesity in the United States, they actually have added another new color for these 4 states here. Now they have states over that actually have exceed 35% in 5 states of population that's overweight, and the top 30% in 25 states. West Virginia has the highest adult obesity rate of 37.7%, and Colorado has the lowest at 22.3%. It's no wonder so many people are sick, and our healthcare system is struggling. So the overweight epidemic, as a result, it shows that 67% of the population is overweight, 34% are obese, meaning their body mass index equals 30 to 34. And that's, when a person is categorized as obese, they become a medical, they become a patient in a hospital sometimes, or they have to be treated medically. 70% of children are obese. $117 billion is costing us in direct and indirect costs for this obesity in the United States. 40% increase in doctor's visits, medication, and procedures. So that's not good. So what can we do about it? We're here to help. Okay, so here are some of the risks that obesity is related to. When a person is overweight or obese, the incidence of cancer rises. They're at risk for gallbladder disease, renal failure, that's kidney failure, stroke, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure. All of these issues actually are related to obesity. So let's start in one area, I'd like to discuss is high fructose corn syrup and obesity. High fructose corn syrup is in, so many packaged foods. If you just read the label, you'll start noticing it. It actually suppresses the production of leptin in the brain. Leptin is a protein hormone. Suppressed leptin causes the appetite to increase and impairs insulin sensitivity, both of which cause weight gain. So this is high fructose corn syrup. So it reduces insulin sensitivity, a major cause of obesity. It contributes to diabetes epidemic, increases blood triglycerides levels, LDL, and fat deposition. So everywhere possible. You know, when you're reading labels, if something has high fructose corn syrup, do not use it. Leave it in the store. And then is whole wheat a good choice? Here, you know, when we look at whole wheat, the glycemic index of whole wheat bread is higher than sucrose, which is table sugar. And we'll go into detail about the glycemic index of different foods in a short, in a little bit. But aside from some extra fiber, eating 2 slices of whole wheat bread is a little different and often worse than drinking a can of sugar sweetened soda or eating a sugary candy bar. So wheat polypeptides bind to the brain's morphine receptors, the very same receptors to which opiates bind. And when you look at the glycemic index, sucrose, table sugar, is 59. A Mars candy bar is 68. Whole grain wheat bread is 72. So when you look at the glycemic index of different foods, food is considered low glycemic if it's under 55. It's considered high glycemic if it's over 55. So, you know, you can see the wheat bread is higher than really what we need. And then is whole wheat a good choice? So years ago, you know, the ancient einkorn wheat actually was a good choice, but this is ancient einkorn where they were not hybridizing the wheat grass, you know, or the seeds. And, you know, then it was developed into ancient Emer wheat. And now, 50 years ago, the modern Triticum estivum, this is a hybridized wheat product that, you know, is being farmed right now. It creates the carbohydrate content is higher and easily digested, so that makes your blood sugar go up higher. The gluten has multiple sets of hybridized chromosomes. How many of you know that someone who has gluten insensitivity is gluten intolerant? This is why, because of all the hybridization. It's implicated as possible contributing factor to weight gain, diabetes, celiac disease, neurological diseases, including ADD, autism, schizophrenia, heart disease, low energy, rashes. There are thousands of hybridized forms of Triticum estivum. So, you know, here, you know, at Young Living, Dr. Gary Young has actually gone to the extent of acquiring some of these seeds, the ancient einkorn wheat, and he has his own field of einkorn wheat. And we actually have products, flour, pancake flour, spaghetti, that's made with this ancient einkorn wheat. And I know people for a fact who are gluten intolerant, they can actually eat these products because they have not been hybridized. So for anyone, if you know anyone who has wheat intolerance, look at this, try it out, and you may be very surprised, happily surprised. Okay, and then is this you? You know, are you drinking coffee all day long to stay awake? Are you drinking colas for energy? These all contribute to a higher incidence risk of factor of stroke, heart attack, obesity, and cholesterol. So we don't really want those, you know, a little bit goes a long way. So, you know, intense sweetness surpasses the cocaine reward in our brain. The University of Bordeaux in France, one of the studies they have there, intense sweetness can surpass cocaine, the cocaine reward, even in drug sensitized and addicted individuals. That to me is astounding. So that's how sweetness affects our brain. The University of Texas, Houston, says certain refined food consumption behaviors meet the DSM. That's actually, you know, the studies that they do for behavioral disorders, like emotional disorders, really extreme disorders, criterion for substance abuse disorders. So, you know, certain refined foods actually start mimicking, the behavior actually starts mimicking that. And then in our brain, changes in the dopamine and the ventral striatum occur in people with drug abuse, the same as those with binge eating and obesity. So another study shows the link between obesity and low circulating 25-hydroxyvitamin D concentrations, considers and implications. So in this study, they're actually showing the link that shows that, you know, sometimes a person, if they have low circulating vitamin D, they may have a higher incidence of obesity. And then along with the study, they're showing that maybe the fact that they're obese is causing the vitamin D to be lower. So they're both kind of like balancing each other. both implicated with people with obesity. So, the cancers associated with obesity in women are breast cancer, postmenopausal, endometrium cancer, cervical, ovarian, colorectal, kidney, liver, gallbladder, pancreatic, esophageal, hematopoietic. In men, prostate cancer, colorectal cancer, kidney cancer, liver, gallbladder cancer, pancreatic, esophageal, hematopoietic. And the list goes on. It's like we need to stop. So I think those are enough reasons for us to look at what we're putting in our mouth and make some changes, or at least try to eat healthier. So I hope you agree with that statement. So with that, we're going to go into some weight loss mastery skills. And if you have not received my packet on weight management counseling, I have a packet that I can send you if you're interested. Let me know. To determine your calorie needs, this is where we're going to start. Men require actually 12 to 13 calories per pound to maintain ideal weight. Women require 11 to 12 calories per pound to maintain ideal weight. So we're going to calculate your calorie needs. Get out your pencil and paper. So here's an example. A 125-pound woman would require approximately 11 calories a pound to maintain her body mass index and to actually keep her alive. And that would equal about 1,375 calories per day. So, sometimes people will look at that and say, well, that doesn't sound like very many calories. But believe me, as we age, every 10 years, our metabolism shifts. And, it slows down by about 5%. So persons who is 20 years old might be able to tolerate 2,500 calories a day and burn it off and never gain weight. But as a person ages, they can't, their body metabolism is a little bit slower. They may be less active. So if a person is trying to lose weight, what you want to do is figure out how many pounds you want to lose or what your goal weight is. And then multiply that by 11 if you're a woman and figure out how many calories per day. That would be for you to maintain to get down there. A man, a 170-pound man would require 12 calories per pound or 2,000 calories a day to maintain his weight. So if he's currently eating 4,000 calories a day and he drops down to 2,000 calories a day, he's going to lose weight pretty quickly. 1 pound equals 3,500 calories. So you can do some math and figure that out. If you reduce your calorie intake by 500 calories a day, you're going to lose 1 pound a week. If you also add like 500 calories of exercise to that, you'll lose 2 pounds a week. That's a very safe and effective way to lose weight. So the food and calories, and now we're going to talk a little bit about carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So we want to determine how many carbohydrates, proteins, and fat you need each day to balance your intake. So this chart is actually inside the packet. And I'm going to show that to you so you can kind of see what I'm looking at. Okay, so this is a calories chart. So basically, your diet should be balanced. 55% of your diet should include carbohydrates, which include fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. So carbohydrates are like 4 calories per gram. So that would be about 206 grams of carbohydrates. That doesn't mean sugary sodas and cake and cookies. That means fruit and vegetables and whole grains. Your protein intake should be 15 to 25% of your diet. And, 25% would be 375 calories or 93 grams of protein. Typically, women need between 50 to 70 grams of protein. Men require about 70 to 90 grams of protein. Unless a person's a really heavy bodybuilder, they don't really need any more protein than that. The fat content that we need is about 20 to 25% of our diet. So 20% of equals 300 calories or 33 grams of fat. So this is where a lot of people get stuck because it's hard to estimate how much fat we're actually taking in. 1 tablespoon of oil, that means if you put a tablespoon of oil on your salad, is 13 grams of fat. If you eat an entire avocado, that's 29 grams of fat. That's your total fat for the entire day, almost. So if you need some help with that, cheese is high in fat. Dairy foods are typically high in fat. Meats are high in fat. So start looking at labels. Start learning where fat is coming from, because many times if we reduce the amount of fat we're taking in, we're going to lose weight a lot more easily. I had a lady one time who was trying to lose weight, and she was very discouraged because she had gained about 15 pounds. And she came to me and she said, I don't understand why I'm gaining all this weight. And I asked her like what she was eating. I went through her food diary, and she told me, her doctor, she had a little bit of low blood sugar and had trouble at night. And so the doctor told her to eat a tablespoon of peanut butter before she went to bed. So to help her with, her hunger and keep her blood sugar stable. Well, lo and behold, she started doing that, but she also would wake up in the middle of the night and eat a tablespoon or two of peanut butter. So we started to monitor that, and she stopped eating so much peanut butter, and she lost weight very easily. So things like that are very, we don't think they're going to accumulate as extra weight on our body, but they absolutely do. So one of the first things that we're going to talk about for weight loss is water. Water, protein, fats, vitamins, minerals, and carbohydrates. Those are all critical for maintenance of your health. So water suppresses the appetite naturally. It helps metabolize stored fat. It helps maintain proper muscle tone, prevents sagging skin that follows weight loss. It rids the body of waste, and it relieves constipation. So typically we should be drinking half of our body's weight in ounces of water. So if a person weighs 150, they should be drinking 75 ounces of water every day, rain or snow or sunshine or whatever. And when you're trying to lose weight, Young Living has a wonderful product that can actually assist with your weight loss efforts. The Slique Essence is their drops that you put in your water. You can put like 3 or 4 drops in your water, and it actually is a combination of grapefruit, tangerine, lemon, spearmint, and ocotillo with stevia extract in a unique blend that supports healthy weight management. It helps reduce cravings. It supports a healthy metabolism, supports energy and endurance. It supports abdominal fat lipolysis. It supports an uplifting mood. It helps healthy digestion, supports mental alertness, weight control, and general satiety. So a few drops in your water, it tastes great, and it's like you're not constantly looking for something to eat when you're using the Slique in your water. Another product that you can use to incorporate and get more water into your body is the Slique tea. I love this tea. It's a wonderful taste. It's very satisfying, and I like to drink it at night, after dinner, because it's very satisfying. It keeps you from feeling like you have to snack on something. So it's an exotic drink from Young Living that has been formulated with natural ingredients to help support individual weight goals. It contains jade, oolong tea, inulin, ocotillo leaf, Ecuadorian cacao powder, vanilla essential oil, frankincense powder, boswellia sacra, and natural stevia extract. So it's rich in flavonoids, a dietary compound generally associated with helping maintain certain normal, healthy body functions. It also contains polyphenols, which may be useful as a part of a guilt-free weight management regimen when combined with a healthy diet and physical activity. So this unique blend is enhanced with 100% pure therapeutic grade frankincense powder. So then we're going to go on to carbohydrates. So that was all about water. Carbohydrates, as high glycemic carbohydrates. Low glycemic carbohydrates have a glycemic index of 55 or less. They keep you satisfied longer, you eat less, and lose weight more easily. Foods that are considered low glycemic, if they're 55 or less. So in this packet of information, I have a list of the foods that are low glycemic. And typical foods, when you're looking at low glycemic breads, there are very few breads that are low glycemic. Typical ones, pumpernickel, whole grain, 1 slice is 51. Sourdough, 1 slice is 51. 100% stone grind whole wheat is 53%. Those are the only ones that are actually low glycemic. The rest are higher glycemic. Certain beans are actually very low glycemic. Chickpeas, black beans, kidney beans, lentils, mung beans, navy beans, pinto beans are 40 or less. So they're a very good choice. Breakfast cereals, all brand cereal is 51. Muesli, oatmeal is low. Special K, Brand Buds, Oat Bran, Rice Bran, shredded wheat. Those are all fairly low, and they're safe to use on a weight management program. Cereal grains like barley, buckwheat, bulgur, those are acceptable. And then certain dairy foods like ice milk, skim milk, 1%, even chocolate flavored milk is only 34, surprisingly. Yogurt, not that yogurt, is 33. And then certain fruits, apples are good, apricots, bananas are fairly high. They're like at 55. Fruit cocktail. Grapefruit is very low. It's only 25. And you have to be careful if you're using grapefruit, because if a person has high blood pressure or if they're on cholesterol medicine, they should not be using any form of grapefruit because it interferes with that. Oranges are fairly low. Papaya, peaches, pears, plums, strawberries, any kind of berries are very low. And nuts like peanuts are very low. However, they have a very high fat content. So it's like a mixed bag, they're low glycemic, but if you eat, a pound of nuts and then you gain about 100 grams of fat, that wouldn't work very well. Pasta, surprisingly, is fairly low, and capellini is 45, fettuccine, linguine. The issue with pasta, and I think you probably know already, is the amount that we eat. So when you go out to an Italian restaurant and you have, say, spaghetti dinner or something like that, they give you this mountain of spaghetti. So the serving size for pasta is 1 cup. And, if you can measure it out and stick with that, then you'll be fine. Potatoes are typically very high glycemic. Sweet potatoes are fairly low. Rice is on the borderline. You can tolerate some rice. On a low-calorie diet, a half a cup of rice would be acceptable. Tomato soup is okay, lentil soup. And then the vegetables are very low glycemic, can be used freely. Artichokes, arugula, asparagus, broccoli, they're less than 20. Most vegetables are very low glycemic, so you can eat them freely. Take a bag of vegetables with you to munch on. Make some vegetable soup. You can eat as much as you want and you will not gain weight. Cucumbers, escarole, eggplant, beets, even surprisingly. Kale, mustard, spinach, turnip, lettuce, mushrooms, peppers, green beans, summer squash, watercress, wax beans, zucchinis. They're all very low glycemic. Tomatoes. And then the medium to high glycemic vegetables, carrots, peas, sweet potatoes, yams. Carrots, I tell people, go ahead and eat your carrots. You'd have to eat a pound of carrots for them to make an impact on your glycemic index. They're very good to chew. They take care of that chewing thing, that we have. And so just enjoy your carrots. White potatoes, when they're boiled, actually are 83. They're very high glycemic. Mashed potatoes are 100. And then rutabaga, is 103. So be careful when you have mashed potatoes. They're very high glycemic. And then the high glycemic foods, these are your carbohydrate foods that are over 70 grams, or 70 GI complex. So that would include things like bagels, black bread, French bread, gluten-free bread, believe it or not, is actually very high. Hamburger buns, Kaiser rolls, white bread, Rice Krispies, cornflakes, Total, General Mills, Cheerios, corn chips, cookies, crackers, dates. These are all over 75. Dates, believe it or not, are 103. Dates are very high in sugar, so be careful if you're thinking that because it's a dried fruit, it's really good for you. So you have to be careful. Soda crackers, 74. Rice cakes are high. Donuts, raisins, watermelon, jelly beans, granola bars, graham crackers, lifesavers. These are all processed carbohydrates. Again, potatoes are high. Raisin bran, Skittles, sucrose, tapioca pudding, tofu, frozen dessert. So don't eat that, but it's 115. Whole wheat bread, and then waffles. So those are high glycemic foods, and it's like we just are better off not eating those, because what happens when you eat high glycemic foods, it actually causes a rapid rise in blood sugar, stimulates the production of insulin, which makes you feel hungrier at the next meal, and it makes you feel hungry. So it digests very quickly, so you're hungry, very quickly afterwards, and it stimulates eating more at the next meal. So an example of carbohydrate foods, here you have fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Okay, so this is the type of carbohydrates that we want to have in our diet. Okay, and then as far as protein, the high quality protein foods are including, chicken, poultry, low in calories, high in protein, fish, shellfish, low in calories, high in protein and health benefits. Vegetable protein is low in calories and high in health benefits. So these are all great sources of protein. Beef is very high in protein, but it's high in fat and high in saturated fat. Low-fat cottage cheese is a good protein source. It has some saturated fat. Egg whites are a good source of protein. They're very bioavailable. You have like 3.5 grams per egg. And so you could have like 2 or 3 egg whites in one egg yolk. If you have cholesterol issues, you want to stay away from the cholesterol point. And then nuts, of course, have some protein, but they're high in fat. So you have to be very careful on how much of the nuts you eat. So, as a meal replacement, when you're planning your meals, Young Living has a Slique Shake, which is a meal replacement. A lot of times when you're losing weight, planning a meal can be challenging. Okay, what am I going to have at this meal? So the Slique Shake is a perfect complement and answer to our weight loss program. So you can use this for 1 or 2 meals a day. It's a complete meal replacement, an excellent source of protein, dietary fiber. It's a blend of pea protein, quinoa, wolfberry, pumpkin seed protein, and alfalfa grass juice for a well-rounded diet. It can be easily modified into your own personalized meal by adding almond milk, fruit, or pure protein complete to meet your personal needs. It's infused with the Slique Essence, the essential oil blend to support weight management, combined with exercise and a sensible diet. It's a vegan formula, no artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, or cholesterol. It has a delicious berry flavor sweetened with stevia, organic coconut palm sugar, wolfberries, and strawberries. Non-GMO ingredients, formulated with naturally derived B vitamins, and an excellent source of many vitamins and minerals. So that is a good choice for 1 or 2 meals a day. And then your food and calories, then we're going to be talking about fats. So, the good fats, monounsaturated fats, most people know about these. They're considered grade A. Eat more of those: olive oil, canola oil, avocado oil. They reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. So just remember, when you're using your oils, 1 tablespoon is 13 grams of fat. So if you have 2 tablespoons of oil would be 26 grams of fat. So 3 tablespoons, there you go. It's like 39 grams of fat. So just be careful and be monitoring how much fat you're taking in. I'm not saying to have a low-fat diet where you're not getting any fat. We need these good fats, but we want to make sure that we're not overdoing them. So the omega-3s, this is another important type of fat, the alpha-linoleic acid. Grade A, eat more of these: fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines. These type of fats reduce blood clotting. They improve the immune function, improve rheumatoid arthritis, reduce the risk of heart disease, stroke, and cancer, improve memory, and help maintain bone density, and lowers the risk of kidney disease. And then we have the omega-6 grade C. Eat less of those, okay? And I'm going to show you a picture here of the good fats. Here we have an example of the good fats: avocados. Now, earlier I mentioned that avocados have 29 grams of fat per avocado. That doesn't mean that you can never eat them. You can slice maybe a fourth of one or some of it on your salad. Just don't eat, the whole avocado. Salmon, nuts, and seeds. And then here we have the bad fats: ice cream, cookies, ribs, hamburger, fries. It's a sad picture. So, we're talking, going back to the omega-6s, the linoleic acid, grade C. Eat less of these. Research shows that they lower good cholesterol, HDL, along with LDL. Research indicates they may promote the risk of cancer. And these are found in peanut oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, safflower, soybean, cottonseed oil, sesame seed oil, and hazelnut. And then, of course, we have saturated fats that are solid at room temperature, grade F. Eat less of these. Found in animal products: meats, poultry, whole milk, cream, butter, cheese, and eggs. They're solid at room temperature. They constrict the blood vessels, restrict blood and oxygen flow, and they raise LDL and increase the risk of heart attack and stroke. So we want to prevent those. And then, of course, we have trans fats. These are grade F. Eat less of these, and they're considered like a nuclear bomb in your arteries. A 14-year study conducted by Harvard University showed a 2% increase in trans fat consumption increased heart attacks by 93% in 80,082 women. A 2% increase. So that is pretty significant. Trans fats are found in stick margarine, shortening, fried foods, all packaged foods, anything that's in a box, including cookies, crackers, chips, pastries. They contribute to increased inflammation and emerging risk for cardiovascular disease and increased LDL, triglycerides, and lipoproteins. They raise cholesterol and increase the risk of breast cancer and Alzheimer's. So a factor that people don't realize is that food manufacturing companies every year produce over 100,000 new products every year. These are packaged products. It's not raw food. They're not producing new vegetables. They're not inventing new vegetables. God does that. They're inventing stuff that comes in a box that is making us sick and overweight. So, as we go through this, as you go through your day, you've got your Slique essence to put in your water to keep drinking throughout the day. You have your tea for an afternoon break, or if you like tea in the morning, and then you've got your meal shake to, as a replacement for breakfast or lunch or dinner if you prefer. And then in between meals, we have a product called Citrus Slim. This is actually formulated to help burn fat, supports a healthy metabolism. The unique formula features plant-based extracts that help support healthy weight management and healthy energy levels. The Slique Citrus Slim is designed to be part of a healthy weight management system. And basically, you take 2 capsules in the morning, in between breakfast and lunch, and 2 in the afternoon. It's formulated with a proprietary citrus fruit-based blend, which may help support the body in burning excess fat when used in conjunction with a healthy weight management plan. It supports the breakdown of triglycerides that are stored in the body's fat tissue, and it may support the release of free fatty acids that help break down fat and help to produce additional energy. It's formulated with citrus extracts and other plant-based ingredients known for their polyphenols and antioxidant activity. It also reduces the oxidative stress. So here we have the Citrus Slim. So as we go through this, to get back to my right slide here. Here we go. Okay, so in addition to that, in the afternoon, like say you have a Citrus Slim or a Slique shake for lunch, you might feel hungry in the afternoon. Most people have a time in the afternoon when they feel like they could use a snack. So the Slique bars actually provide that snack. It's a dual targeted approach, and it's a medley of exotic fruits, nuts, and science creates the perfect functional nutritious snack to help you feel full longer. So look at some of ththese ingredients. Baru nuts. These are exotic nuts, almonds, honey, chicory root, dates, coconut, nibs, golden berries, Bing cherries, wolfberries, quinoa, sea salt, sunflower, lesser than orange, essential oils, cinnamon. So it's also, we want to make sure everyone knows if they have allergies, it contains baru nuts, almonds, and coconut, manufactured in a facility that also processes tree nuts. So these bars can be used as a healthy snack in the afternoon or whenever you feel a snack, that you need a snack. They also have a chocolate-coated Slique bar. These bars are both high in fiber. They're gluten-free. So if you're on a gluten-free diet, you can tolerate these. No trans fats, no preservatives. They manage satiety, and they contain a potato skin extract that triggers the release of cholecystokinin, in the body, which increases the duration of feelings of fullness. So it's a mix of exotic nuts and berries featuring, the same thing I mentioned before, and a proprietary essential oil blend of cinnamon, vanilla, orange. So keep one of these in your purse or your pocket. yeah, or your car, or if you're going to the gym. So when you need a healthy snack in the afternoon, you've got it available. It'll keep you going and keep you satisfied. And then last of all, we have foods, minerals, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. So vitamins are essential for growth, vitality, and health, and are helpful in digestion, elimination, and resistance to disease. They work as coenzymes that work as catalysts to speed up specific chemical reactions that would proceed very slowly without them. Vitamins can only work if you have minerals in your body. So it's important to have a base of minerals. And Young Living has an excellent master formula. I didn't list it on here, but you can definitely check that out. So make sure that you're taking a good vitamin mineral supplement to make sure that you're getting all the nutrients that your body needs. And then, of course, you know, the minerals assist in the body's absorption of vitamins or basic constituent of matter. Approximately 4 to 5% of our body matter weight is mineral matter, blood, and some vitamins. And then antioxidants are a group of vitamins, minerals, and enzymes that help protect the body from the formation of free radicals. So free radicals are atoms that cause damage to the cells, impair the immune system, and lead to infections and various degenerative disease and cancer. Skin damage, energy loss, blood damage, eye damage, and brain damage. So it's thought by scientists to be the basis of the aging process. So whenever you're eating a lot of raw fruits and vegetables, especially the red, orange colored vegetables and fruits, you're getting more of the antioxidants, you know, in the dark blue, like blueberries and blackberries. So let's look a little bit at portion control. We're just about through here. So, you know, a big part of weight management is eating the right amount of food, you know, not overeating. So a 3-ounce portion of animal protein is about the size of a deck of cards. So if you go to a restaurant, I don't know any restaurant where they serve a steak that's 3 ounces. So, you know, that's a big aha moment for a lot of people. So, you know, protein is important, but we don't need a whole plate of it, okay? 1 slice of bread is equal to a CD case, okay? A half a cup of fruits and vegetables is about the size of a computer mouse. Half a cup of grams of cereal, or half a cup of cereal, is about equal to a tennis ball, okay? And a baked potato should be about the size of your fist. You don't need one of these huge potatoes that it's like takes up, you know, 2 fists. And then 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is about the size of a ping pong ball. So those are some ideas for portion control. And then, you know, we have the Slique gum. I just want to briefly mention this. If you need something to kind of work on, to chew on, if you're a type of person that gets stressed and you need something to keep you going, the Slique gum, ancient travelers throughout the Middle East used raw frankincense resin for its nutritional content and the ability to help control hunger. The Slique gum offers those same benefits in a modern delivery system that helps control food cravings and improve oral health. So this is a very unique gum. It contains frankincense resin, a gum base, isomalt, sorbitol, natural flavors, natural sweeteners, red cabbage juice. So, you know, try some of the Slique gum. That will give you a chance to kind of, you know, get that chewing going and not have to be hungry. So, you know, in addition to all of the information that we've covered so far, there are some weight loss mastery skills. And again, I have these available in, you know, weight loss booklet and workbook that I take people through if you're interested. So the weight loss mastery skills include physical activity. So we recommend that, you know, everyone try to burn 400 to 500 calories a day in exercise activity. That can include walking. You know, walking for an hour, a 150-pound person actually burns 450 calories. Food and calories, it's all about portion control, record keeping, keep a log, keep a diary so you know how much you're eating and if you're on track. Stimulus control, if something is really difficult for you to control, if you get a bag of candy at Christmas or whatever and you cannot stop eating it, then that should never come into the house. If you're the type of person that loves ice cream and can't stop eating it, so the best solution would be to go to the ice cream shop and get an ice cream cone and eat it there instead of buying a gallon or 2 gallons and bringing it home and eating it all. And then support. Having a family supportive, enlist family members to offer encouragement to stay on track. That's always important. And you know, when you're going out to eat, that can be challenging, but it's better to taste a little bit, you know, eat slower. My suggestion is to eat slower. It takes 20 minutes for your stomach to register to your brain that you've eaten something. So slow down, take a bite, put your fork down, and chew your food. You know, there's an old saying to chew your food 50 times. And I always think about Lucy, you know, with her eating her food, you know, and she would chew her food 50 times. So that's a good process or a good tip. And then the foundational imperatives: mind your mindset, negative thinking and sabotaging self-talk. So, you know, if we're constantly thinking negative thoughts about weight loss, that is not going to help us. So if we say to ourselves that we're never going to get there, well, guess what? We may not. So we want to use positive affirmations, and I can help you with that too. I actually go through, I'm certified in a program called AFT, where we can actually help restructure your self-talk and your belief system about that. Keep right tracking, objectivity, reality versus negative self-judgment. So, you know, if for instance you start the day off really great, and you know you had a great breakfast and you had your tea for a mid-morning snack, or you had a snack, and then a friend of yours calls and said, well, let's go out to lunch. And lo and behold, this friend loves to go to a certain restaurant that doesn't serve the type of food that's very conducive to weight management. So you're stuck in a situation where you have to make a decision. Am I going to eat what's on the menu? Am I going to eat anything at all? Am I just going to sit here? Or am I going to choose something that's, you know, as low calorie as possible or as healthy as it can be? Or am I going to ask for, you know, see if they have steamed vegetables or something? So sometimes, you know, looking creatively at what restaurants have available. I know when I go to a restaurant, I'll ask them if they have steamed vegetables that can be used as an alternative to things like, you know, fried potatoes, or even a baked potato. And many times they're very good at accommodating. So it's always good to ask. Stick to structure, you know, try to plan your day. A lot of times if we have no plan, then whatever happens, it's like all of a sudden, you know, well, so-and-so, you know, invited me over, or so-and-so came over and brought a cake with her. What are we going to do? So try to plan ahead, and always problem solve, you know. So if you notice that you had to eat more at lunch than you were planning on, then maybe cut back at dinner time. And, you know, look ahead. If you've got company coming in for the weekend, try to eat less for the days before that so you can balance your calories out. Stick to structure. 3 meals. We suggest 3 meals per day and a snack in between. Measured snack meals and menu planning, record keeping, stimulus control. I could talk for an hour on each of these subjects, which we don't have time to tonight, but I can certainly help you if you need more help there. Problem solving and planning. So assess reality. So, you know, think about it. You know, if you're stuck inside because it's freezing outside and the temperature is below 0, chances are you're not going to go for a hike that day. So maybe there's something that you can do in the house, have a video or something that you can watch, an exercise tape or something that can actually help you get moving, problem solve things, take action and assess the outcome, and then celebrate, take credit for achievements. Try not to use food as a celebration. Try to think of other things that you can celebrate with. Maybe go to a movie or visit some friends that you haven't seen for a while, or make a phone call that you haven't done for a while. So hopefully this has given you some ideas that will help you to change your attitude about weight management and help you get on track with your weight loss goals for this year. And I thank you for attending. If you have any questions or would like some help ordering the Slique products, I'd be happy to help you with that. And thank you again, and have a great evening.